listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn. You're listening to Santos Bonacci live on Syncretism, here on criticalmassradio.co.uk. As above and so below is the holy science you need to know, astrotheology, because now it's our turn.
Hey, good evening. Welcome to Outside the Box, and of course Syncretism, and it wouldn't be Syncretism without Santo Bonacci. So, sorry about the delay in getting Santo to the table. I mean, the intent was strong enough, but it had to pass, very quickly, and we knew it would. So, without further ado, hey Santo, how you doing?
Great. Yourself?
Good. Yeah, we've been holding the line on the reality instead of buying into all that nonsense of ooh ah. Listen, hey, how did the Synchronicity School go that you set up inside?
Oh yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I preach to everyone. Look. Overall, I had my voice, of course, because
you were teaching so much.
No. Well, yeah, but because 50 to 100 people turned out, and then after that we spoke outside the courtroom for about half an hour because there was some drama there, and then we got outside and all these reporters from the national TV stations, 9 and 7, I think. I didn't see it because we don't have TV, but yeah, they put a bit of spin on it, according to one of the sovereigns who also turned up last night. I went to a meeting last night by the CLRA group. Well, no, they were a group. Now it's an association. But I went along with Rob Halford, who was in court too in the morning. So I've been talking since midday till about midnight, just talking. So that's why my voice is really, really coarse. But I've obviously experienced some massive things in my life which I want to share. I want to share the mistakes I made and
Santo,
the good things I did.
Santo, yep. Finally, you're a card-carrying member with the rest of us.
Yeah.
Now I can say this. Now you know. Isn't it cool?
Yeah. Yep. It was a rounded off number to 9. I mean, I could have been out of there the next day. But I'll get back to that. Why it took 9 days, and I must say, the magistrate that I had, Stephen Rayleigh, was an absolute gem, a fine gem of a man. And in fact, the three magistrates that heard the case were absolute gems, I think. And I think they did everything in their power to not have me there.
Yeah, they will, and
they absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to teach people. No one is the enemy, and this is the game of us trying to wake ourselves up. And
yep.
The less the hostility that we put out gets mirrored back to us. That what you plant, you harvest. And look at the guy's name, Ray Lee. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Ra.
Yeah, Ra. Well, the true light of God in calmness, of course. And this is why I tell people to pay attention to their clues, and they will. See, it was like Ping last week. The judge even turned to her and said, "Listen, I can't do anything until you give me the power to do it." And what the judge was saying to her was this: "Listen, you're claiming to know who you are, then take your power back. Tell me what I have to do."
Yep, that's what I learned, Kate. Kate, what happened was I was belligerent, and that's what got me in there. When, I had a night's sleep about it in the cells, obviously, the other side kicks in, and you realise, which I was rather what's the word, cooperative with all the judges. They were great, absolute gems. And what I got from the experience was, I sensed that man, the magistrate, was realising what a historical event was occurring in Melbourne yesterday. And because of all these honourable people, the way they came into court. And these good magistrates that really want change, that are not in there, to milk the bonds and to profit from, the ignorance of people, we can turn that around, and now's our chance. And I'm 100% convinced that magistrate is totally on our side. He virtually said to me, look, 130,000, and he turned to the barrister and said, have you ever been convicted? Is this anything like this? Nope. Just some traffic fines, yeah? Wow, and he goes, look, I'm going to give you bail and see you back on the 1st. And he goes, we'll see what we can do about getting rid of this. And he said, do you have any medical problems? Can you go? And I said, no, sir, because I don't. And he said, because we can use that, and we can reduce that. Basically what he was doing was giving me, well, I won't say he was giving me advice, but he was saying to me, not a problem, because when I opened in the morning, I said, sir, I am here to seek lawful and peaceful remedy and cure in today's matter. And that about snuffed out what the barrister was suggesting, and what the Herald Sun said about me, that I was refusing and uncooperative and things like that. So the judge saw that, and really hats off to this man, Stephen Rayleigh, and the other guys. I just want to talk about all the positive that came out of this.
Well, let's see, Santo, and this is one of the I've been saying this for a very long time. Maybe they'll listen to you. And really, I think what this is going to be between us is this beautiful coalescing of, you're going to find yourself, and I knew this. Of course, it had to be consciousness. Consciousness had to come out of this. I had creation 28, which is 10, right? So consciousness had to come into creation here. I can see the script as it plays out. I don't get caught in all the literal stuff. I'm looking at the energies, and you can still see the belligerent child, the belligerent inner child, being displayed in the consciousness through the media. And when the media, like mainstream, so when mainstream media starts, they love twisting their stories. They like making shit up to see if people will buy it. And people do, but here's the thing. Those points of consciousness are irrelevant, because the only thing that's real to me is what's real to me, as the only thing that's real to you is real to you. And having come through that Daniel in the Lion's Den, which is all that really is, you get a whole different shift and a whole different look at things, because now I can talk to you from the same perspective, because now you've shared it. You've seen what it's like. You've had that opportunity to be with self in a position. I mean, listen, when people finally get that what energy you're putting out into your creation is what you're getting back, they'll be fine. And that's what's happening now. And the belligerent children that are still in the gimme, greedy, I want that from the sandbox, thinking that, here's how retarded it is. I'm God of all I am. And I'm interested in one little piece of property here, and a little house there, and a little, meat stick over. Do you see the separation that occurs? You are all these things. And you really get a different perspective on it. And as I was saying, while you were setting up and operating your synchronicity school with a very captive audience, I had no doubt in my mind, and I'll bring people on a little bit, guys. Just be patient. I want to get Santo chatting here, and this is all I was reinforcing and staying on, because I wasn't going to buy into all of the legal chitter chatter and we got to do this. That's getting caught in the matrix. For me, my movie has you and everybody else as a superstar, and all I kept saying was, Santo is the only one I know of that can do what he has to do right now. Would you please have a little faith in him? And the whole concert turned at that point, that I could see anyway, where instead of people fighting and bickering and thinking, well, Santo has to do this and that and the other, they were cheering you on, bud, because you got Excalibur. You're wielding Excalibur, so wherever you go, it's going to cut through everything. All you need to do is stand with it. That's it.
Yeah. Look, what really pulled me through was the spiritual ideological component that I know pulled me through, whereas the practical in me is, I proved that it was deficient, because I picked a fight, I was belligerent, and when I was served the documents, I don't want to go into detail into things here because I want to stay on the positive. I acted like, I was belligerent. And so lesson number one is always to conditionally accept upon proof of cause, upon proof of claim, and conditionally accept it. And do not show any belligerence. And so these things stuck out to me. But knowing who you are absolutely pulls you through situations like that. And the judge absolutely sensed that. He was a good man. And I noticed in the Herald Sun that they said Mr. Bonacci described Victoria Police as a criminal organisation that engaged in fraud. No, that's what the Herald Sun said. Because
they're telling the truth from the very literal standpoint. And again, see, there is no right or wrong here. See, everything that we do brings us to that point of realization. So no one makes a mistake. What you have is an experience to give you contrast to see where you're on the ladder now. This is why I tell people, the universe is your cab. Stop trying to drive it. Just create the reality you want to have and energize towards that. Or get caught up in the drama and the literals and all the rest of it. But no one makes a mistake here. What you have is an experience to give you the perspective to see the perfection in who and what you are.
Yeah, look, I think everybody, Australia, the world, gained from this experience, especially me, mostly me. I got a lot of clarity. I met some great guys in there. I preached to every one of them. I'll be telling you some of the stories because I need an hour for each one. Some of the policemen, beautiful, wonderful, wonderful men in there. In fact, as I was going up and down from court to the cells in handcuffs, they were quizzing me. What about this and what about that and why did you say the witness? And I said to the guys, look, just go to YouTube, Santos Bonacci, and go to the law and sovereignty stuff, and it will give you, a certain amount of clarity how you can be better policemen and women. And one of them came back the next day, and he opened Mr. Bonacci, and I went to the door there, and in through the crack there, he goes, Santos, Syncretism, and he puts his thumb up and he goes, good job, because he checked it out and he likes the syncretism. And when Sonia was bringing a change of clothes every day to the cell, she was teaching them about my vegan raw food diet and how I do grounding and things like that. And they came back to talk to me about it. Yeah, you need to talk to us about grounding and et cetera, et cetera. And so everybody will benefit from it.
Tell me it wasn't perfect.
Yeah, look, I saw why I saw while I was in there through the experiences of all the other inmates, guys coming in and out. And what I learned was that a lot of them are like children. And what they're going through in those cells is a punishment. It is, and it's self-inflicted. These guys were abused by the Dandenong police because they asked for it. I treated them respect, and I got only respect. Except for a couple of police women in there that, you know, I think they got a bit of a kick out of humiliating me, and, you know, small things like if I tied my hair up with a bit of string that I found on the floor, you know, I was to take the string out of my hair. You know, take that out of your hair, Miss Bonacci, you know, and things like that. And it's trying to sort of deprive me of an extra orange a day because I was only subsisting on apples and oranges, and they were sweet as, while everybody else was eating that microwave crap, and they were forced to. They were all complaining about it because it was disgusting food, and most of it, half of it was left behind. They'd rejected it, and they all had stomach ache and bowel problems, but I was doing all the good things. I did the urine looping therapy without knowledge of the guys. How I did it? Well, when there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, you get creative, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I ain't going to waste that. I ain't going to drink this. You know, well, they were giving me filtered water, but, you know, it's not like the filtered stuff I've got at home, the mineralised water that I drink, and then I do my urine looping. I ain't going to waste that gold for nobody. What can urine do? Well, it can, you get any kind of poison from any, you know, poisonous animal, and you just drop a bit of your own urine under your tongue, and you'll be sweet.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it has.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I used cups that I take apart, and I use them for journals because they, in solitary, I had pretty much zero contact other than when they slapped the door open, throw vegetarian. I was in the same situation as you, of course, and you know, pencils, sharpen them on the concrete, kind of thing, and whatever I get my hands on. But you get real creative real quick, huh?
Oh, yeah, we weren't even allowed paper or pen. This was real. They're really, all the prisons have different standards. What I learnt from the guys. Apparently there's a thing called the map, and everybody's hanging out to go there because, you know, they've got TV, they can ring friends, they can read books, and who knows what else they can do in there. But in the cells there at Dandenong, I've known this for many, many years, that they've been tough there in Dandenong. And but guess what? Yours truly was treated really, really well by everyone, really. By, you know, the whole of the establishment. And what I did say to the policemen, I did say that police. I teach to respect policemen and women because they have an oath to serve and protect. But I explained the difference between a police officer or a policy enforcer, that they are just simply revenue collectors. And they understood. They understood because I said it simply and clearly and explained that this is the component that is compounding the national debt. And so, you see, when I spoke to the reporter, I explained to them about how everything is prepaid and how our pensioners, when they go to pay utility bills, they are paying a statement. It's not a bill, because the utility company, I explained to Channel 9, they are double dipping because they've already told you, they're sending you a statement of the services that you've used from them and how much they've deducted from your estate, your prepaid account. And so I said, try ringing your utility company next time and asking for a true bill so that you can settle that and discharge that. and you'll find that you'll never get that because it's unlawful. They're only giving you a statement, you see. And so what they're asking for you to do is to pay lawfully. And there is only one way to pay lawfully, and it's not by using reserve notes, because in Australia it's the Reserve Bank, not the Federal Reserve. It's called the Reserve Bank. And the notes we carry here come from that bank, and I explained that is owned by the Rothschilds, beer, and that's private, and that's owned by them. It's not even our intellectual property. It's fraud to use it, and it's fraud to pay with it, because it's currency. It is not money. It doesn't have any value, but it does compound the national debt. And I said to her, would you like a nation that tomorrow we could, we could be free from slavery to the banks, because that's who's pushing these policy enforcers? And she looked at, she couldn't, I was asking her questions. And I'll tell you what, their tongues were on the floor, because they realised that no one really speaks like this. And the fact that I walked from the courtroom and had the judge's blessing, and he said, get out of here, and I'll see you back, in a couple of months, and we're going to pay this the lawful way. But Rob Halford was there to assist me, and he was a great, great strength and pillar to my family. I want to do a shout out to Rob. He's probably listening today, and he was there at the meeting last night at Daryl and Kevin. No. Anyway, the guys, I'm sorry, brother, but I forgot his name, but the guys who run CLRA, they are gems. I've been to a handful of their meetings. I'm going to support them more now, as much as I can. But Rob was going to pay with a true promissory note. And the only reason he couldn't was because all those fines were in the hands of the sheriff's office, so they were zeroed. Now, I don't understand what this means, because I don't know how to make promissory notes. And this is how it will be paid on the 1st of April. So really another thing that I learned was that this practical stuff, which is lawful stuff, which Rob is quite complete and perfected in, is where I'm lacking. And so, I'm going to, one thing that I realised is, the clarity is that when I get out, I'm going to focus more on syncretism, and because there are gems and superstars out there, and I want to, include everyone who is, out there attempting to free us from the slavery system, as people, far, far more qualified and capable in the practical side. But this is one of the things that the judge was urging me, was to get practical with this situation. Your ideology is great, because you've got all these great supporters that came out for you, and I'm pretty sure that he did his homework on me, and he'll be looking for some support by the good people of this dear land, and by the good people of the whole world and universe.
Well, here's where I'm going to jump in, and I'm going to hold them to that, in that the whole system is fraud, promissory notes and all. Everything is fraud. So let's keep that intention going. Again, I'm not going to step back into any form of legal remedy, because there is none. And this is the true message that's being carried here. This is... me, Santo, I will never yield this, never, because anything to do with the system, it is all about changing one's intent, and that's the power that you guys have been wielding. And I'm going to beg people to stop this, to stop with this whole, this Stephen Rayleigh, yes, absolutely. If he wants a corrupt system to come down, then it has to happen from within, and they have to know that we had Steve Travesty again, and this was shortly after all the stuff came down with you, Lai Ping, and Maggie, because what it did was it fully exposed the truth of what the witness is, and the universe urges us to take the next step. So this is now the ball in their court. They're the ones that have to make the move, because we've played it, and we've played it peaceful. And what has to happen now, and it will. It's already done. I mean, you see, if you look at a movie, any movie, I don't care what it is. Use Hunger Games for example. At the end of the movie, spoiler alert, but you'll need this so you're not getting emotionally wrapped up in shit. Is the guy and the girl, the divine masculine, divine feminine, won out overall? Okay, so it was a perfect happy ending. Now, if you went back to the movie without knowing that and watched through it, you would be caught in the drama. Instead, now that you know the outcome, you can watch the movie and see all the foreshadowing. And that's what I do. I know the ending of the movie, and I'm watching it backwards. So what's going to happen here is the intent that has been placed here. Screw the promissory. I understand where you're coming from, Santo. I'm just trying to get it anagogic for people. These are...
Yep. Yeah. Ideologically, you know I'm 100% with you.
Yeah, I know that. I know that.
But what I saw was that on the ground level, there's a lot of ignorant people that will be blessed by the fact that if they know that they're paying the wrong way, learn how to pay the way the legal system is established, it will actually correct itself, and then we won't need any system. We won't need any system. It's like a car, a beautiful, say, let's say an old Mustang or a Chevy 57 that's got a heap of rust on it. You wouldn't just go, just throw it away because it's got some rust. Well, we would extract the rust, and correct it.
Yeah, I see where you're going ideologically. I do. That I'm all mindful of is talking to people that are taking everything I'm saying literally. They're not. That's why I spend so much time anagogically explaining things, because the minute it looks like a carrot, all the children go running. That's what I'm getting at. And if they're running to play within a system, they're simply empowering the same beast. Don't fall for it. That's all I'm saying.
But what I learned from Stephen Rayleigh is that he's saying to me, okay, you've got your ideology right. It's all correct there, sir, but you're failing in your practical, because people are they're not like you. They're not aware of the corruption that has set in the system. So if you pay the correct way, that's all they want. Money, settle the books, discharge the debt, or rather that's what is supposed to happen according to the system. And so I saw him as saying, do the practical stuff and then it will all crumble, because what will happen is we won't be feeding the banks. Because people are going to jail, paying the banks, paying with cash, paying the banks for their judgments and their fines, etc., etc. So these guys are pretty illumined. I believe that Stephen Rayleigh was a very illumined man. He was a very conscious being, and they're in there, and they're there to help us. And the same with police men and women.
No question. Again, this is about bringing the energies into balance without the belligerence on both sides. Again, I get where you're coming from. The concept of zeroing out, I take it from the anagogic of getting things right within oneself. And you see, well, I can show you the good and evil and everything, right? So the good thing is, yes, you're absolutely right. This is about zeroing and getting that way. And then the bad part is there are still many, I would typically call free men on the land, et cetera, that are still looking for the gimme free out without being dispossessed of the things that they need to be dispossessed of, thinking that something physical is more valuable than infinite all. That's the illusion. When we get caught in these little boxes of that's mine, what you've done is you've separated yourself from quite a large universe, as far as I can tell, just looking out the window here. But there's the fine line that walking here. Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
this system is like a body. You can liken it to a body that has cancer. And cancer can only exist in an acidic body, anything below 7. So to cure cancer, all you have to do is alkalize the body. that's it. That's the law of the universe. And so if someone's got cancer and the ideology is corrected, positive thinking, and we'll get over this, we'll surmount it. How some people say that they overcame cancer, but at the same time, if they're putting dirty food into their bodies, dead food, which only creates acidity, because, for instance, meat stays in the stomach for 7 days and putrefies. It cannot be digested, and it stays in the bowels, and so it lingers on there. And of course, we've got very, very long intestines, which indicates that we're not carnivores, and so this creates acidity in the body, and so practically the individual has got it wrong, but ideologically they've got it right upstairs. To fix things upstairs and in the spiritual, but to be practicing rotten habits physically is counterproductive. And that's what I learned through this experience. I realized where I was totally inadequate with the practical things.
Well, let's go anagogic on what you just said there. It's perfect. The whole thing that I'm seeing with the court, I'm seeing with the food, I'm seeing with the cancer and the acidity, the whole thing to me all tells the same story of this is not about overcoming something or being overwhelmed by something. This is about seeing the out-of-balance energies and then getting in the middle and neutralizing. So like you were saying, let's go anagogic, not physical. The physical is just the clue. It's the effect. So with the body, if the body is too acidic, then it's out of balance energetically. Let's take being alkaline as positive and acidic as being negative. Okay, so if you are out of balance with acidic, that means there is too much negativity. I'm talking from a spiritual sense here, not physical. There's too much negativity within your consciousness that needs to be neutralized. And here's the proof of that. When we start to take care of ourselves better, the way you're talking, what we're doing is making a spiritual statement, a causal contract, where you decide to change your eating habits. So you've taken the concept, made it real that there was something out of balance within you, then you start doing this, by your actions you are known, you start doing the things that neutralizes that out. So you start eating more alkaline foods, and then you get healthier, and as you get healthier, your mind gets clearer. But to me, and what Stephen was also saying, the judge or magistrate, whatever, was this: you had come to him from a neutral position, and he was talking about neutralizing. You can take whatever you can call it, promissory notes, fiat notes, whatever, it doesn't matter. It is the intent that is being displayed here. It is the energies that are being illustrated in the literal, not to be taken literal. This is where the fine line that I'm really walking here to keep people in, and I use all the literal examples of what you're saying right now to show that. So I'm telling people not to get caught up in the literal, see energies out of balance, because when you make a choice to change, you've changed your universe. And that's what we all do within ourselves. And that you have actually outlined that at least 4 times already, where I was watching the energies about it's all about neutralizing, getting in the middle.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Get on the rim of the coin. There's 3 sides to every coin, not 2. Which side do you want? Well, you got heads, tails, or rim. Well, I'm calling rim. I can see both the head and tail at the same time then. Everybody wins when you're standing on the rim. Look at the Pacific, or the Pacify Unconditional Love Pacific Rim, Re-M, which is light of God in creation. It's all about love, baby. It's all about seeing where you are, and don't get caught in the literal traps. We go through the physical experiences to see the effect of our anagogic spiritual intent. It's quite something. And that's how I observe everything. So you see, you've told the same story a few times in so many beautiful different ways. I'm just trying to show you the plot.
I definitely wrote this script, and I knew that when I was in the cell. I knew that all will be good and everyone will benefit from my experience. Everyone will. And here's one way everyone can benefit. This is where I made a big mistake. And the first magistrate that heard me, he was he pretty much was going to throw me out of there and send me home and ridicule the friend of the court that was in there. But he made me an offer, and I didn't. I was silent, and I acquiesced, and I didn't accept the offer. And this is where, because I did all the witness thing. I did the whole witness thing. Only thing, I didn't have a birth certificate in there with me to say, here is the evidence. But what I replied when I was asked who I was, I said, I am the witness. And then to come back, who are you? Please identify yourself. And I am the witness. After 3 times, then I explained that there has been a mistake. Some men impersonating police officers and sheriffs came to my door, and they arrested me, kidnapped me, and assaulted me, and brought me here. And it's a mistaken identity. It's the obviously they're looking for Santos Bonacci, and I am the witness. So the judge realised that I couldn't be identified, and he turned to the friend of the court and said, "Well, who's this gentleman? And if we don't know who he is, what's he here for?" And she's I don't know. She shrugged her shoulders. Some traffic fines, I believe, and so they were all sort of shaky and nervous and going, well, we're going to have to release this guy virtually. And but he then must have been instructed by the clerk to leave the room. And how he did that was very clever. And I remember Franco Cole's teaching years back, when they adjourn or bow and walk out, that's an offer, and you don't consent to changing of the jurisdiction of the court. And so what happened though was he was talking to his friend of the court and saying, I'll have to go upstairs and see what to do with this guy, because we can't have him here. We've got no jurisdiction over him. And so I thought, yeah, well, of course, yeah, absolutely. And so I was rolling with that, and so I gave them, say, 4 or 5 seconds, and they took that. That was the silence he wanted, and then he turned and he asked the police officers on my sides to take me away. And when I realised that, I sort of missed that chance, and there's no mistakes in anything. It was a mistake. If you look at it critically.
Okay, and we're going to go over it one more time so people can hear this. This is why you went through this. Everything for a reason. So go back through what happened there when they didn't they couldn't get jurisdiction on you. So one more time. I need everyone to get what you're saying here.
Yeah, well, he was obviously there was no jurisdiction, not on their ship, and so they've got to get off there. And the offer is that, hey, I'm getting out here, and I'll be back in a minute to find out what to do. And so I was silent because I was waiting for, well, I don't know. I was shocked and traumatized, as you can imagine, right? So, but as they picked me up to get out of there, I said, I do not consent to the changing the jurisdiction of the court. And but there was some silence. If that's where they think they brought me into their juridic person, well, it was there. Because apart from that, and up until that point, there was nothing. They had nothing. And yet I did continue with being the witness, and I reserved my rights and waived the privileges, benefits, and services. Okay,
one of the things that I want to stress on here, and this is where silence is golden. There is a silence. There's 2 different forms of silence. One is belligerence, one in a state of knowing. And this is why when you become a witness in a courtroom, which is the only living one there, everything you say is on the record. Everything. So this is why you shut up. You just stay. I want to clarify this for people. You shut up because you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. So if anything that you say can be misconstrued through Phoenician, it can be interpreted. I do not consent to mean, yeah, take me away. I am the witness is all you need to say. If you want to continue it, you say motu proprio toto genere. I am the witness, motu proprio toto genere, which is I am God in a state of knowing from my highest covenant in full character. That's all you say. They can never get jurisdiction beyond that. If that's all you say, and I've said this in the past, and I'm so glad that you brought this up, because the fact that you said I do not consent to change of jurisdiction, you actually buried yourself. Because what they were doing was they were granting you had your jurisdiction, and you followed in that by saying you don't consent to a change of jurisdiction. This is why silence is gold. All you need to say is that I am the witness, motu proprio toto genere, and become the mocking jay. Just keep saying that. That's your crow that's yours, returned your crown, your crow with the end that makes it mine. And that's when you become paw. You start to be the crow that has many paws, and you don't have to say anything. Every thought manifests. So that is a perfect example, Santo. Thank you for that.
Yep. I'm just bringing that out so we can benefit.
All of it. Yeah.
I'm so glad to have experienced it and made all the blunders and all the hopefully good things that come out of it, because I really want everybody that was there, every single individual to benefit, because we can do it. Yeah, we can do it. The limiting beliefs that they inflict on us from school days, through church, from politicians, the message that they are delivering to us through the media is you can't do it. Only a few can. Look, this guy won the millions on Pat's Lotto. Look, that guy has signed up with Sony and is a successful musician, when there are millions of buskers on the street that are 10 times better than any of these guys that have got record deals. We now have a beautiful and wonderful opportunity, and I saw with my own eyes that there's so much potential to change things. All the fine policemen and women that I met and who helped me in there, the prisoners were very angry, and one of their mottos is the only good cop is a dead cop. And some of them wanted to bash my head in for saying that, I have always taught to respect police men and women. Because, there was a story on the news over the past week about a rape. There's this young Colombian 17-year-old teenager who's going around raping and harassing girls on the street, and he's been caught on camera there and everything. And, what we saw was a whole bunch of police men and women out there trying to catch this criminal. And so, because we have a delinquent society that really, really, if there weren't policemen and women there, these creepies would, take advantage. And so, it's only the fact that there is, the police force there that is pretty much preventing them and discouraging them from these acts. And so that's because we have a very, very childish society. They haven't grown up yet. The scriptures say that the dead shall rise. Well, they are dead in their unconsciousness, in that they serve blindly their idols. Whether it's their church, whether it's their, club that they're in, or whatever they believe in. And so, surely that some of these young kids are being put through there so that they can learn to have some respect and get some respect.
Well, I'll throw that right onto the majority of society. I don't care if you're 17 or 77. I see it every day. I see, fist fighters, the literalists that are walking around seeking revenge on things, and that to me is only a measure of how out of balance they are in the quad. They're hovering down on the linear line of the divine or the masculine feminine negatives only. They're hanging down in hell, and they're running around throwing tantrums. This is why I rail so much against these idiots called freemen on the land and patriots and all the rest of these stupid parts of our consciousness, the children that we suffer unto ourselves. And I say that quite emphatically, because it's all childish. Look, you see, I tell people all the time, look in the mirror. Look in your life mirror. What has all of your belligerence and all of your childish and all your gimme, and I have to have money this and I have to have money that, what has it got you, Nicodemus? I'll tell you what it's got you, a master that you're serving, and that master is going to whip you. The master that you need to serve only has love and open arms. And that is the end of the movie if you will accept the cab driver taking you there. It knows the directions. It knows how to get there. You haven't got most people are walking around without a map. They know their zodiac. They sure as hell can't define what their name is, their way. That's their God way. They cannot see their Hansel and Gretel, the H and G, the God and physical, the breadcrumbs, BC, okay? They can't see these anagogic clues that are staring everyone right smack in the face. Everyone's too busy talking about, yeah, Kate, but you're right, but Kate, you're right, but, and off we go into fucking Wonderland, and I'm going, listen to you. Listen to your literal. You were talking literal from the literal. You're not seeing this the way you need to see it. By all means, enjoy the literal, but get a grip on it. Get a grip on reality. This is the effect, not the cause. You create your reality by how you think. And you're absolutely right, Santo. I would hazard to say that the young people today are far more mature than their parents and grandparents. Because, you've got parents and grandparents that are still mired in the system, looking around, and, you tell them that any use of ID is completely fraudulent, and they look at you like you got heads, and then they have problems, and they wonder why they have problems. Well, I told you the answer to it. Just because you can't accept it doesn't make it fucking wrong, idiot. Why don't you just try it and watch your own universe shift accordingly? And this is it. This is why I talk about baby steps. And what you've illustrated so clearly, especially with this experience, I'm very excited that you're a card-carrying member now. This is awesome. You're one of the club, You can't be cool. It's like here in Canada, you weren't a musician unless you shopped at one certain store. You had to be in debt to this one store. If you hadn't, and you couldn't call yourself a musician. So now you can call yourself a truther because you're a card-carrying member on the highest levels. But the whole thing here is about looking at things objectively instead of being subject to it. Now, with regards to promissory notes, how the hell is anyone going to use a promissory note with using a legal name? And this is a real question that has to be asked to propagate the problem even further. Yes, I would love to sell this lawfully. Please show me how. Because if I do this, I'm going to be, I'm going to be committing fraud. Is it the court's intent for me to do that? If not, then there is no matter here. There's nothing. It's all fictional illusion. It says right in maxims, legality is not reality. So I don't play in the illusion. And inversely, legality, if it's not reality, it must be insanity. It must be the illusion. If it's not real, it's imagined. So I don't live in the imagined legal world. I live in the quite real world, anagogic. And this is the difference between the Christ and the Nicodemus. The vast majority of humanity is walking around like Nicodemus. Well, I want to follow you. Well, get rid of all your possessions that are, you don't. Here's the irony of possessions. Do you own the possession, or does the possession own you? Are you possessed of the possession? You are. And I'll tell you why. This is, any dog walking through the forest and sees a dead squirrel isn't interested in the squirrel because it's been dead too long and can't eat it. It's not worried about how it died. It's not worried about, its kids. And look at all the dramas that we humans do. It's mind-boggling. So take the literals and look at them for what they are. They're literal, but they're clues. That's all they are. They're reflections. It's looking in the mirror thinking that something in the mirror is real. We're on the other side of that mirror. I've just chosen to step through it and go, oh, yeah, this is cool. I can see what's going on. And it's all about neutralizing the energy. It's got nothing to do with the physical at all. The physical is the effect, the aftermath of the choice. The contract you make is in your head. The contract you create with the consciousness is within you. You will change when you choose to change. Someone that is walking around, let's talk about a policeman versus a police officer. A policeman is typically someone who is honorable, wants to keep the peace, and truly in my reality, police aren't necessary because that doesn't occur. Okay, but let's just play in the literal for a little while longer, shall we? And then we go to a police officer. Here's the guy doing the same thing over and over again. All he's interested in is getting his $100,000 a year, getting his commissions on the tickets and everything else he writes, getting his free toasters, getting his days in court to have some fun, occasionally beat somebody up, pull people over, scare the shit out of them, hang out with his buddies, piss drunk, and shoot steroids and the rest of it. And that effectively is the bastard inner child versus the wanting to do good inner child. That's what we're dealing with in our own consciousness, and it's being displayed for us. The more brutality that we see is the fact that there's not enough responsibility being taken by the one, by the consciousness, and this is what I do diligently every day to take that back, to take full responsibility for my reality. And here's the magic trick. I already know the ending's awesome. I accept that. And I go to it. And you knew the ending is awesome. We all do. The ending of the movie is already there. We're just watching it backwards. We created it from the perfect ending out on the ebb of creation, and then of course where creation ebbed out and stopped on the return is now the beginning of the movie on the way back to the perfect ending, which is Source. And here we are. We just came out of Pisces, and there's still a lot of Pisceans out there. I believe this, I believe that. I've been an Aquarian for a long time. I either know something or I don't know it. That's the only choice I have. I can believe something, and then, of course, if I believe what someone is telling me, then I am taking their reality and making it mine. If I agree to it, I agree with none of this. I now observe objectively instead of being at effect subjectively. And it's not that big a step over that wall. It's not. It's finally waking up to the fact that you got to take some responsibility for self, and everything that you think is a wish. Careful what you wish for. You're putting that into the universe. Remember, the consciousness is genie, and she will grant every wish you think. Every one. So that's why you've got to get your mind straight, get a hold of your helm, get peaceful, get calm, get in the center. Right? It's like, Here it is. You want the Lamb of God, Santo? Here it is. Leo Ascendant, Aries Midheaven.
Yeah.
I know who I am, Santo, and this is what I'm trying to convey to people. This is the program I came in with. This is my little stitch pattern on the sewing machine that prints out a pattern. I know how to read the pattern now, and this is all I've been sharing. And there was not a shred of doubt. I'm gonna bring some people in because I know a lot of people want to say hi. Guys, keep it. We got 4 in right now. As soon as I open the lines up, it's going to get busy. So be mindful. Santo is gonna. He's in high demand, as always. So are you cool with that? Bring people in to say hi?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, your family missed you at the table here. I told you, the line lighting up now.
Oh, yeah.
So here we go. Here's we'll bring Mike in first.
Aloha.
Hey.
Wow.
How are you, Mike?
Yeah, beautiful Santos. Good to hear you. Been feeling you always at the table.
Yeah.
And you two are just flowing beautiful tonight, let me tell you. So much knowledge and truth. Just as always, like no beat has been missed.
Thanks, brother.
Right on. Well, we got Cullen, and I'll open the lines up. Just let them get their say first, and then we'll do a bit of a free-for-all afterwards. Cullen.
Yo, what's up?
Well, there you go.
Santos, how are you, man?
Great, Colin. Fantastic. Much enriched.
You sound good, man. You sound really balanced, really calm, really stable, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm deliberately speaking nice and slow because my voice is real hoarse, and I'm just about going to start croaking in a minute, sounding like a frog.
Man, you had a great point there just a minute ago when you were talking about the belligerents, and the delinquents that are still out there, and I totally agree with that. I mean, a lot of people want to think that this is a literal awakening, and it's not. It's a spiritual awakening, is what it is. And this is the only thing that seems to be holding anything back, which actually it's not. But the only thing that seems to be holding something back is the fact that it's got to be a spiritual awakening before the literal is reflected through that. It's like a seal. Mm-hmm.
Cullen, you nailed it. You see, everyone listening right now, I'm pretty sure that you're not sleeping. You're physically awake, yeah? Good. Okay, so you're physically awake. This is not about a physical awakening. You're absolutely right. I just want to really point this home, Cullen. You nailed it.
Yes.
When the spirit within awakens, it reflects in the literal. It takes the universe time to shift the timelines to give us the illusion of the game. This is where I say, okay, children, don't worry, the ice cream is coming. Fucking chill out. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And that's what everyone's screaming. Instead of going exactly what Cullen said. It is a spiritual awakening that reflects. Take light time to travel? Good, I thought so too. It goes to the past. Yes, it does. That's the now. Good. Glad we're all following this. So when the spirit awakens, the literal follows suit. So awaken within. As within, so without. Thank you, Colin. Perfect.
Definitely.
You get a gold star in front of the class, and you get to share in the apple.
Woo! Well, it made me visualize in my mind the reaction of when I was the way I would speak to people on the police, and all these police state Facebook pages. That's exactly the vision that came in my mind when I heard Santos point on that note, was the fact that they're all literally sitting there going, "Oh, fuck the police! We gotta fuck the cops!" Children. They want to have their vengeance. They want to have that revenge, and the thing that seems to be holding progress back is that when it fully awakens these other aspects of our consciousness within them, and they realize, holy crap, why should we go? We can't go out and kill anybody. That's literally like going out and killing a portion of myself. And when these people, these versions of ourselves, when it's reflected in them, that it's all about, it's all about do no harm and treat thy neighbor as you would treat yourself. Then boom, the seal is removed. All the veils are lifted. Boom, instant reflection at that point.
Here, Santo, let me show you the zodiac. You've taught me very well. I've had a good teacher between you and Bill. Let me show you the zodiac and why it's so important. I could be your mirror on this. There was only one thing I could see within you and your pattern and your program that needed to be dealt with. And can you tell me what part of your zodiac it was? I've said it to you many times.
I saw a lot lacking. And
Mars in Leo. Got it handled now, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When you Mars in Leo on the ascendant with a Leo ascendant, that's a whole bunch of fire. Yeah,
right. And now that's what needed to be. That's the fire that needed to be quelled.
Yeah, absolutely. What you were saying before, Kate and Colin, is reflected in the words of the great Alan Watts. Bless his Capricorn teaching soul. What a teacher. In his video, it's only a 6-minute video, I think you can find it's called something like What Are You? Right? Because Kate was talking about how we're in the literal. The difference between seeing all of this from the anagogic or allegoric point of view or perspective, as opposed to the literal is what he talks about here. And I'm going to read it because I read it yesterday. After court, I invited everybody to come around and have some coffee and some of my wife's natural raw organic chocolate, best on the planet. And we had a whole bunch of people out here. It was great. We spent all afternoon. That's why my voice is like this, you see.
And,
but I read this.
I was going to say, when you finish reading this, I'm going to bring, it looks like Brendan, I'm going to keep going down the calls, but I just want to let people know because I can feel him chomping at the bit here. So read the thing and then I'll start bringing more people in.
Okay. What are you? We think we are something in this body, the ego. Focus on conscious attention, the radar on the ship. Troubleshooter. Conscious attention is a designed function of the brain to scan the environment. If you identify yourself with your troubleshooter, then naturally you define yourself as living in a perpetual state of anxiety. The moment we cease to identify with our ego and become aware that we are the whole organism, we realize how harmonious things are. There is no difference between the physical and the spiritual. They are out-of-date categories. It's all process. It isn't stuff on the one hand and form on the other. It is pattern. Life is pattern. It is a dance of energy. So, I will never invoke spooky knowledge. That is to say that I have had a private revelation, or I have sensory vibrations going on a plane which you don't have. Everything is standing right out in the open. It's just a question of how you look at it. Then you do discover what you do. Then you do discover what you do is then what the whole universe is doing at the place you call here and now. You are something the whole universe is doing in the same way that a wave is what the whole ocean is doing. The real you is not the puppet which life pushes around. The real deep you is the whole universe. That's it.
Yeah, I love hearing things that, especially from this perspective, having not heard that from Alan before, is something. I listen to things from the way of, could I have written that? And yeah, he held it.
Yeah, well, see, when he started off and said, focus on conscious attention, the radar on the ship.
The mirror. R-A-D-A-R-A-D-A-R-A-D-A-R, etc. Yes, the mirror.
Exactly. And this is what some of the police officers are doing. They're focusing on that conscious attention, which is their training. And so they're in a constant state of anxiety because they identify with their troubleshooter. That's what the conscious attention is. You see, the lower ego. And so this is why knowing thyself, knowing who you are, that you are the whole organism, and what you are doing, so is the universe. Like what a wave is doing, so is the ocean.
Yeah, it's again, we'll go back to the radar again. Now you have a whole new understanding of what a radar trap is. It's a mirror trap. You're looking at yourself. What a radar gun is, you're shooting yourself. So we have Brendan here. I'm going to bring him in, but great words from Alan Watt. Definitely, everyone needs to hang out with Alan. Go ahead, Brendan.
Yeah. Hey, Santo.
Hey, how are you, Brendan?
Hey, glad to hear that you're back, and I called in tonight and I heard your voice immediately, and it just brought tears to my eyes, But I knew you'd be fine, obviously, but I kept reinforcing that throughout. The table was set for you every night, as Katie would tell you, and
thank you. Yeah.
And
we didn't change the energy at all. No, it's like I know the ending of my movie. You just needed to be in a place to be a superstar, so the stage is now set for you to do that. About time, That's all I was waiting. Okay, when is this perfect? Yeah, there it is. And I said even last night before the show, well, we'll be talking about Santo getting out, and we'll bring him on the call. And I think about 10 minutes later, got the word, Santo's free, blah, blah, blah. And I actually tried to add you to the call, if you noticed. But anyway, if you were around to pick up, you were there. If you weren't, well, at least you knew to join the call if you felt like it. That's how serious and how concerned I was. I wasn't concerned at all because I know this movie's perfect, and I know it's going to put everyone in the perfect place to do the perfect thing every perfect time for the perfect reason. And just because you believe it doesn't mean to say it's not going to happen. I just choose to know that it does. That's all.
Yep.
It's like you're really connecting to others' higher conscious self, their heart essence. It's not only that we have, some people say, spirit guides, or in the spirit world when we wake up into that aspect of ourselves, that greater self of us, and we talk about maybe there's guides there, look for the signs. Same thing's happening here. In Santos, you shared it beautifully when these guys, when you were inside, kind of started showing you the way through. Here's the door, here's the way to get out, here's the way to bring it down if you want to play with it. And just like this, we're seeing the blending of the worlds. It's coming one.
Yeah. Who do you want it representing humanity in a courtroom to show the peaceful aspect? Alex Jones or Santo Bonacci? Do the fucking math. Come on.
They're showing they want out also. I mean, that's what it is when you these really nice judges. The mirror,
the mirror.
Right? And in Santos's beautiful mirror, these are loving beings that want.
They're looking for syncretism, and you had to show up. This is the game. This is saying that the other side is now finally ready for it. No strings attached here. They had to have someone that still had a string attached. And of course, and you guys can back me up on this. How many times did I say there's no other that I would put there other than Santo Bonacci, because he's the only one that I know that knows who he is. Every fucking night I said that. And I'm not going to change. When truth is, I don't have to believe it. I simply have to accept it because I know it. It's all good. And we have 757 in too. I'm going to keep going down the list here until everyone's in. Hey, we got
me, Teddy.
Teddy, how are you?
You remember me?
Yeah, I remember you, Teddy. I remember you.
I'm the one who wanted to kiss your ass on Macy's window.
At Macy's window, I know. And I took on the offer. We'll make that work, and it'll be on international television when we have all the stations.
Yeah. Right. No commercials.
Yeah, it's all comedy, man. It's all comedy. So say hi to Santo. Ted's a riot. You'll love this guy.
You're a dirty rat, Santos, but I love you anyway. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I'll take that. I'll take that.
I'd like to welcome Santos' list of heroes like Martin Luther King Jr., Jesus Christ, and all those people who are put in jail too.
Yeah. Listen, here's something that really I missed. Silence is golden. When he said, "I do not consent to your jurisdiction," what happened there? That's when you said phonetically.
Well, here, just a sec. Let me tell you what happened.
Let me hear it.
Teddy, hang on. I'm gonna tell you why, because I'm gonna take that "I do not consent to your jurisdiction" and I'm gonna flip it back.
No.
Hang on, Santo. I need to do this. It's phonics.
I didn't say that.
Yes.
No. I didn't say that.
Okay. Well, you know what I mean. It's just.
No. What I said was I don't consent to the change of the jurisdiction of the court.
Right, and I can turn that around. Hang on, guys. Jesus Christ, literal runners. Just stop. Breathe. Listen to what's being said. I do KNOT. I do not. Phoenician. What I can assume. See, until you make it clear, this is why silence is golden. You must know what you are saying. That's why I break everything down. Right? When you say "I do not consent," I had you at not. I can tie a knot on you. I do not. I tie myself up in the change of jurisdiction. You've reversed it with that.
Right.
This is the power of phonics. I can assume and presume everything that comes out of someone's mouth to my intent.
Right.
That's all. So I'm going to agree.
Okay.
See, because I can agree with Santo completely. Fine. I do not consent. You're tied up. Good. Away you go.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Okay.
That's the magic. So go ahead.
So
I just want to clarify the sound.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. So they can construe anything they want in that jurisdiction. It's a jurisdiction. They can. The new law is that they can do it. They can interpret it any way they wish. There is no constitutional law once you form into their jurisdiction. But you said silence is golden, which is perfect. But what happened? The judge was going to leave the courtroom. What was that about? I missed that.
The judge, I'll tell you. I'll let Santo tell the story again. Let me tell you the turnout that I see, because I love reading the script as it's being presented to me. And the judge leaving there, after Santo said, "I'm the witness," and you didn't say anything after that before he left, right? You said, "I'm the witness" 3 times, Santo?
Yep. And then I explained that there was a mistake.
Okay.
It's a case of mistaken identity.
Okay, perfect. I am the witness. So you had the living voice going on there, and you were holding it, and they could not hold you legally. This is what I'm saying.
Right.
And he would have left the court and lose all this constitutional shit. Please, Teddy, please. It's all nonsense.
Okay.
He would have come back into the courtroom, and all Santo would have to do is say, "I'm the witness." Just keep saying the same thing. Stand in the truth. And he would have gone back out, like Franco Collins, the 3 times in, 3 times out. On the third pass, he cannot. Now he's in the highest ecclesiastical. He has no power because of the apostolic letter, so he probably wouldn't come back times. And they would have walked him right out. It would have been done. But this is why this had to happen, because it's showing people this, so that I can explain it from the other side. I know how these guys think, because I speak Phoenician, and I will assume and presume you into a cell every time.
Right. Yeah. Okay. But here's the other thing too. You said something that it went to the highest thing. You're referring to it as a church somewhere.
That's according to the ecclesiastical 3 courts. It goes back to Franco Collins. These to me are just clues to the game, the energy, and how to play it. And all this whole game is saying, stand in your truth and do not yield it.
And
do not waver. Okay. Do not try to make excuses for truth. You don't have to. And we do. We go literal.
Yeah.
I'm the witness. Leave it alone.
Okay. Who is this guy you just mentioned that I should read up on? You just said some guy's name about the 3 times?
Again, there's no need. This is the left brain wanting satiated with knowledge. You don't need it. You have wisdom.
Hey, Kate, here's the beauty of it. And this is what you said, Teddy. And here it is clear. And this is where you need to take it to. That you said they make it up, right?
Yes.
They change it because it's the legal. What you said a beautiful word about it.
Legal
fiction. Right. So then, what does that show you? That so do we. We can make it up as we see fit. And in our beautiful world, we have the best interest of all usually in our heart. So why don't we focus on that aspect instead of the legal fiction? Because, well, it's not reality.
Right. Don't give it any energy. Just say you're the witness. That's it. But you have to understand what the witness is.
Santo is coming. Yeah, Santo's coming in here with all sorts of clues. I'm just trying to show you what they are.
So
Good. I'm not trying to be an asshole, even though I am.
Oh no, Teddy.
No,
Teddy,
you're
good.
fine.
It's all good, man.
Okay.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Santos, back to this number 9. So, you could have been out in the next day, but you chose 9. And we were talking about 9 the other day and about the significance of this number in terms of you guys, Kate. And I found that really interesting that 9 days passed, and to me it was really it could have been 9 hours. I know it was 9 days, literally, for you in there. Did it feel like a so-called long time, or was it a brief moment in your?
It was just a now. It was just a continual now. While I was hearing the voices of all the other guys, complaining that time's dragging on, or nothing good on the TV, or complaining that they're hungry, all of this stuff. I didn't have a hunger pang while I was in there, and I just had a couple of apples and a couple of oranges every day. Beautiful, sweet, fresh. I made sure that they weren't from Safeway and Coles because they are radiated. and there's been tests done in the laboratory that mice and rodents die far, far earlier eating that shit than organic stuff. So they assured me that it comes from a farm in Mildura. That's in the North Victoria, and those are good apples and oranges. And believe me, some of them were probably mediocre, but most of them were excellent apples and oranges, while the other guys were eating rubbish. Now, what was the point? What did you ask?
Oh, we were talking about how you were in the
9
now.
days.
In the now.
9 days.
Yeah.
Yep. The clarity that I got a lot of clarity. I did exercises, I did my squats, I did push-ups. I'm down to about 50 kilos. That's about 12 pounds, right? So, and I'm not worried because I've never been sick in my life, and I've got heaps of vitality. This is all because I've drained myself in sacrifice to anyone and everyone that should be able to benefit from what I've got to share with them. And it's like a parasite taking my energy, and thinking that I do, which is not really good because it's all noise, consumes a lot of mass. But I did get a lot of clarity, and the point is, I saw myself being distracted in the last couple of months since I came back from the tour, and being distracted by pretty much some of the distractions were necessary. I'm not, going back on any of those, but syncretism is very, very important, and it's getting better and better by the day. And I realised that I really, really need to focus on that, because that's the anagogic. You see, the sovereignty bit and all of that practical stuff is good, and I see the good people down there marching on the on the ground.
Soul sovereignty, right?
They haven't really got the anagogic right and the allegoric yet, but hey, these are our brothers, okay? You don't thump your little kindergarten brother because you're in tertiary education and he just doesn't know trigonometry. You don't bash them, and they're on the ground, and this is probably what the judge was suggesting to me, that you can really wreck the system, and we can get out of debt if we learn to teach people how to pay with their value, because there's no value in money, right? In currency, and that they call it. It's and so we have how valuable are we? I would like to say to anyone, a judge, anyone, a policeman, how valuable is your life? How much money? Can you put a number on it? Is it worth $6 trillion? Would you go around saying, I'm worth about $6 trillion? Well, there's no value because there's money. That's a fiction. You are endless in value, you see.
Yes.
And so that's how we pay. We were born, we came here with some, have perhaps more talents and more gifts than others, but, everyone has a gift. We all have a gift. And it's hiding in there. We are rough diamonds, and we're polishing, our diamonds. And that goes for everybody. I would love to just say that to everybody. How precious is your life? And how much money would it be worth?
Exactly.
You can't put a figure on it.
You can't put a price on it. Go ahead,
I have prepaid those fines. I have prepaid everything, by my value. We are valuable. What the problem is we are taking our focus away from that and giving value to paper, to titles, deeds, bonds, securities, derivatives, and Ponzi schemes. And, the people who suck you into that would be churches. We don't need churchianity. We need Christianity, the science of Christ. We need Islam, the Sufi wisdom of Isis, and Ram, the Lamb of God. It's the same religion, just with a different way of expressing it. And believe you me, the Muslim Islamic way is beautiful. When Quran says to slay the infidels, it's not talking about other humans. The Sufis know this. True Islam knows this. It's the same as Jehovah saying, kill the Canaanites, murder them, dash their children against the crag. These are the lower thoughts. The infidels are the infidels inside of us that betray us and make us do wrong deeds like belligerence. Here I am preaching around the world. Oh yes, peaceful inhabitants, be loving. Oh yeah, be loving. I haven't been very loving, right? So,
well, hey, Santo, I just want to jump in here. We got a lot of noise in the background, for one. Please, guys, mute out on your end. I've got the mics open. I got to go down the list. I just want to stop on that one word, infidel, just to show phonics. In before a word means not, or it can mean to be in a state of. Okay, it means both. Just like, where was I going to go there? Well, yeah, anyway, you have. Let's look at the sound of it. Like insane, or you're insane. If you are insane, it means you are in health. If you are insane, you are not health. Okay, so the same sound, two different meanings. So in phi DL, which in not sacred creation within the Trinity Delta with the power of intent, or you are in phi Del. You're one or the other. So, and you're absolutely right. This is the same thing that Bill Donahue talks about, Santo, with the thoughts that must be dashed against the rocks. It is the thoughts of the mind, the carnal mind, the literal cane field that's got ragweed that people keep trying to keep replanting. So, I just want to go down. I just want to go down the list here too. So, just to let you know. Keep going.
Okay. So that's the belligerent mistake I made. By fighting. What the fuck for? There's no need to fight anymore. That's force. That's why you call it the police force, not the police power. If I'm going to be powerful and I'm teaching other people to be powerful, why am I using force? Force is secondary to power. Yeah, power is what we are in the magnetic conscious God that we are in essence, that white, undifferentiated, omniscient light that we are. And then force is electricity. The universe is electric, and it is the only force, according to Walter Russell, that God uses to create matter, the universe. There's one force, electricity. And he uses that from his power base, magnetism, to create materia, Maria, the mother of Jesus, who is electricity.
Yep, power is God, you. Force is intent. Electricity, masculine. So divine feminine to divine masculine. That it sums up perfectly. That's why magnetic electric is me. Now I've got a few more callers here, Santo. Might be Barb. All the ones. 1111111. That's a guess. I've also got area code 661 opened, and 323. Yeah, jump in. Who we got?
So, this is 661.
Hey,
Santos,
how are you?
Hi. I'd like to ask Santos. Did you ever use the words in court? I invoke common law jurisdiction. I know you said I am the witness, but did you ever say those words? I invoke common law jurisdiction.
No.
Okay, is that
you think that could have helped?
Is that not voke or invoke? I can assume and presume you into a cell. Be mindful of
what
words.
Just say, did you say those words? Did you say those words?
No, I'm trying to show you why you don't say them, because
keep it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, you
said them, Kate. You said them in court?
3 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Now just chill now.
Are we, what? You're the one that got excited, not me. I'm just telling you a fact. If you can't handle facts, I can't help you there. That is a fact. When you say invoke, I say not vocal. I can assume that. Did you know? Did you know that in is not as a prefix?
Yeah.
The magistrates
I said
do.
the word. Well, I meant when Kate, when you said it in court, could Santos have said it the same way?
I didn't say that 3 years ago. I said I claim this common law.
Oh, then that can Santos have said that?
No, he said exactly what he needed to. I am the witness. What the I am the witness is saying. We've already broke this down. It's I am. Okay, that's Aries. That's heaven. That's God. Right? It says so in the zodiac.
Well, I know that, but
okay.
when you say that, it invokes the common law jurisdiction, and then maybe he didn't understand that the judge didn't understand that. But
he understood. He understood.
He
That's why they went looking for a name, because a witness is living. They need the dead to consent to be dead. Santo was perfect in his delivery.
So let me ask. So when they couldn't identify him, so when he couldn't be identified, and the judge. I hear the story that the judge left the room and then he came back, and that means when he left the room, he's changing the jurisdiction.
But Santo said something before he left the room. Did you not, Santo?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And that's what I talked about earlier. What happened was I do not consent to a change in jurisdiction, something to that effect, but I already had it at not. As soon as you say not to me, I'll spell a K-N-O-T and tie you up and throw you back in the cell. This is the power of phonics. Yeah, I know. I'm just explaining it for everybody.
I understood Santos saying it as they were dragging him away.
Yes, exactly.
He waited, and then he said it. That's why.
If they had when the judge came back away without another word, they would have brought him back in to play the same game again to see if they could bring him back into jurisdiction. Santo did it perfectly so that we could illustrate this fact. That's all I'm saying. Right. I only see perfection, so I'm looking for the reason why it was perfect. That's all.
But
he could have said. So Santos could have said, "I am the witness." And that would have brought common law jurisdiction back in
automatically. Witness means in a state of knowing. Also, phonics, whiteness. There is no way to swing that word around the way it is intended. Witness. Okay. A birth certificate is listed as a witness. So when you say I am the witness, you eliminate the birth certificate. You can't have two witnesses for the same thing.
Yeah.
So I am the witness. I am the witness trumps, I claim common law jurisdiction.
It trumps everything. I am the witness. Now remember this. Witness is also what a birth certificate is called.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
Right. Okay. So if a birth certificate is called a witness and you're claiming to be the witness, they can't serve two masters. And they will do everything in their power to make you be the master they can control, not the one that they can't. That's why I am the witness replaces the birth certificate like that. When you hold up the fraud, you've shown them that you know who you are. Santo in his situation didn't have that. Didn't matter though. It shows the power of just saying I am the witness and staying on that. I'm the witness. That's it. Give up a name. Give up a game.
Yeah. Don't say anything about without prejudice UCC 1-308 or any bullshit like that.
Do not say anything I can presume and assume your ass through phonics into the cell because I will. I'm being the judge here. I'm telling you how they think and it keeps me in honor. I can own you in honor because people don't know what they're actually saying. I'm trying to show people what they're saying.
Yeah.
Really saying. That's all.
Yeah. You don't you just have to You have to stay within your understanding that you don't know the law. You don't know anything. You're just a witness. I'm not a legal guy. I don't have the brain.
No. What? This is the power of being. I am the witness. You were saying that I am in a state of knowing. That is all you need to say. Don't worry, they get the message real quick. It is phonics. Remember, what we talk about here is in the consciousness. It's not just what we're talking about. It is in the universal consciousness. So I'm watching the ebb and flow. Santo, you cannot make a mistake. Santo did it perfectly, so we can illustrate this right now so that more people become aware of this power.
Okay. Okay, what would you have done as soon as the judge had come back? What would you have done?
Same thing. I am the witness. Worked once, eh? Now, if something works and you keep doing it, that's not insanity, is it? No, when you invoke, I'm using the word invoke because just as an illustrative, not as something to say. What you're invoking here is your sense of, I am in a state of knowing. I am God. You're saying that, and no one can contest that.
Yeah, and also you have to understand that you're not a dead entity. It's good to know that. I mean, that's important to that's your foundation. When you say I'm the witness, if you don't say it and understand that you're not a dead entity and they only deal with dead entities here, then you don't have that much power. You have to understand where the power comes from, that you are not a dead entity. I am the witness, and just stand on that.
That's it. You're telling them that you're
but you have to know that you don't deal, that you're not a dead entity, and this is all dead jurisdiction here, and I'm not playing this game.
You don't have to play.
Kate.
That's the whole thing.
Yes.
Kate, would you have said the judge has abandoned the court? I am now
3 years ago,
judge.
maybe, not today.
Could you have commanded the judge to discharge the debt?
The less, the better. Hey, Santos. Eating sprouts again?
Oh.
Did we lose Kate?
Yeah.
Very good.
Not sure. Let's see if Santos is here, guys. Santos?
We lost Santos, too. I guess we blew everybody away.
All right. Guys, let's bring it back up to the end of God because
thank you, yes.
We're both saying.
Yeah, let's do that.
We love Santos so much. These guys, they understand that aspect. What they want to remind us of is the beauty of who we are in our whole selves.
I know, but shit happens, and I just want to go over it. I mean, it's just even them explaining helps out to even understand it better because now I know if I ever get in that trap, I'm going to keep on. I'm the witness. I understand.
Okay, so there's the simplicity of it. But what we're getting at is Kate's reminding, and Santos is so much, is what is really unfolding here on a spiritual level. This is the physical level, mimicking the spirit, mimicking our truer intent.
Thanks, Michael. Bring Santo back in. Carry on for a sec.
And so, in this way, that's why the reminder is there. What is it? What is this reflection reminding us of? What was the intent that I have here? What is this? And from there, guys, this is what's shifting shifting us into a clearer consciousness, into the heart center. This awareness and realization, not how it necessarily plays out in the physical. It's what we are basically grokking in the spiritual.
Exactly. Hey, I want to add on to that. I forget who is. I'm not sure who was talking about the if. Well, what if this happens? What if that happens? Well, answer me this, man. What is if? What does if mean? Like, think about it on a high level, the highest level there is. What is if?
I'm talking like if you have to.
If means is.
Go ahead. I know, but the thing is, if you go on a camping trip, you gotta plan a little bit.
Go on a camping trip again. What humanity does, the left brain goes nuts and wants to over-evaluate, over-analyze everything, and this is what happens with the left brain monkey chatter that I hear all the time. Just see, here's the thing: when something gets said, absorb it. Have a look at it from your perspective, and if you're wrestling with it, I only have Mike out, mute out, guys, please. I only have one intent. It's benevolent. That's Santo will tell you. He's got the same thing in his chart, and I know this, and I have the heavens that testify for me. Santo, what is it that makes you so that you cannot do any evil?
The Leo ascendant, the Firmicus Maternus, the ancient astrologer, says They never use their power for evil.
Right? So this is why I want, when people, see, here's the thing. I am not trying to make anybody pissed off. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I am just sharing the truth. I'm the messenger that has bullet holes all the way through. I'm okay. I'm armor plated. They just bounce off. So what I'm trying to share here is simply this. This is something that we know. This has been my whole path. This is my whole design. I'm built for this. I am the witness, says everything you needed to say. All you need to do is ask yourself, why? I did, and I showed it, how it works in phonics. And it's very cool. If you start thinking about the what-ifs, what are you doing? You're creating an alternate linear timeline reality based on literal illusions you think you need. You just where it is, or see whatever the case may be, knows where it is, and you're trying to tell the cabbie how to do their job. I don't tell creation how to do its job. It's already created. In the beginning, God created. It's past tense, so I'm good with that. And God created light and saw that it was good. Which means God is obviously dark. It had to come out of the dark, the void, the chaos. So take the time to analyze properly instead of looking at things from an emotional, immediate reaction of looking into the illusion of everything that everyone has done wrong and still try to make it work. It doesn't. You've got to know who you are. That's why the zodiac is critical. Your name is critical. Your whole life path, as it matters to you, is the only thing you've got. Now, I got to do a quick shout out here before we roll over. We got 10 minutes until top of the hour. We go off the live version and into the 1 hour recording. We'll see how far that goes. You can call in at 661-467-2401. And, of course, you can call in via Blog Talk on the page you're listening on. Just hit the Skype button there. Follow your nose. It'll bring you to the board. Once there, hit 1 on the dial pad or 1 on the show dial pad on Skype, and that'll let me know that you want in the call. And great big thank you to Paul Giovanni at criticalmassradio.co.uk. Anything you guys want to flow in terms of energy in any shape, way, or form, it will be transmuted into pure light and love, guaranteed, for everyone to enjoy, because everything we do is free anyway. So there you have it. And I just want to let, there was a few other calls that were here. I'm not sure if everybody got in yet, but for those, I got 321, I'm just opening up. For those that want to jump in, I just want to hear from everybody so that, I want everyone to say hi to Santo. Santo's home, as we knew, and
hi there.
Yeah, who's next there?
Hi there, Kate. Can you hear me?
Is that Kevin?
Yes, it is. Hello, Kate.
Oh, hey, you got a good mic. All right, you sound like you now.
Oh, do I? Oh, that's nice. Nice to have my bio accent back. Hello, Santos. I'm really glad. Hello.
Kevin. Yeah, just a heads up. Keep it short, okay? Because I want to get everyone in before we roll over, and then we'll jump in after the hour. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. It'll be a quick start, middle, and end, like we write our songs. I'm glad you're out, Santos. Absolutely brilliantly. You've done absolutely well, but I think you've been on a journey on a roundabout, and I think you've realised that you're not a prop forward now. I think you're more of a scrum half, dealing out the game from where you should be. I don't think you're a person out there with a flaming sword, and I think that you've learned that lesson, if there was a lesson to be learnt. But I'm glad you're there. My heart's been tied to you constantly. Everything is safe for you and for you, Kate. And that's all I really got to say. And I'm really glad you're out and doing well.
Thanks, brother. Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
We do love our superstars.
That's okay.
Now I've got...
You've got to keep them tied to our heart, Kate,
Oh yeah, again, the game's perfect. I have no doubts whatsoever. I'm Aquarian. I'm good with I know that everything is fine and will have a hell of an ending coming, and it's going to be something spectacular, worth hanging on to the edge of our seats for this long. Promise. Area code 321. You have. Area code 321. You haven't been in yet. 530. Darlene is there. Alvita is there. You guys haven't been in yet, so one at a time. Come on in and say hi to Santo.
Hello, Santo. This is Alvita.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi, Santo. How are you guys? Hey.
Hi, Santo.
Bravo.
Hey,
Santo.
how are you?
Bravo. We love you. And
yeah.
We'll take time to listen to I fell asleep. We had snow in Virginia Beach today, which is very rare, so I was walking in the snow and busted my butt out there and fell asleep and missed half the show. Damn it. So I'll listen to
the cold hard truth is coming down everywhere.
Oh, beautiful. You're so right.
Look at the allegories. The literals are showing you the truth. We have the southern storm Leon, Leo mine. Are you shitting me? The heart is mine? Yes, absolutely. Oh, good.
It is great.
Oh.
Love you. Everybody. Everybody. I love you all.
Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
There we go.
What I think you're...
Go ahead.
Santo, I have a question. Oh.
What I think Kate's trying to get across...
Go ahead, hon.
...is that no possession. Period. I am the witness. No possession.
Bingo. You're God when you have no possession. If nothing possesses you, if you have no strings attaching you to the whore of Babylon, you are God. You are not buying into the illusion. Now you are crowned.
I am priceless. Period.
Bingo.
Priceless.
There's a God.
Kate, I've been with you since the first time I heard you speak on the radio with Santos a little over a year ago, and you broke down the word love. And I don't know how I find the best of the best on this planet, but it's like I'm magnetized to it, and I try to explain it to people. I don't know how I know. I just know. And so I am with you. I know. I'm with you. So I see the end of the movie. We're done. It's done. Period. We win. And geez, it's
win.
us.
We all win.
Geez, it's us.
It's us. Thank you.
That's right. Geez, it's us.
That's it. Santo, you have to give us a yeah and a Jesus. Come on.
Yeah.
Geez, it's us.
Now, there's the movie I want. Oh man.
It's so beautiful when you can see it.
I got rainbows, Kate. I got rainbows in the sky.
Yeah, truth is shining all its glorious color. January 31st is coming up. It's a pivotal day. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Because Santo and I both sent out our Deneke ultimatums January 13th and replies January 31st, the mirror of 13. I had it confirmed. I love how the universe gives me these joke messages. This cop had pulled this guy over and his car number was 313. And I'm thinking, thanks, 3113, right? So it's always the mirror for me, and that is the mirror of the duality, bi. Remember, a 1 and a 3 is a B, right? So just be, and you got to be yourself in the mirror. So when I see a 3, a 1, and a 3, I put that in the mirror, and I guess I get to have my own bib now, don't I? Yeah, funny how that works, eh? It's a joke, guys. It's hilarious.
Speaking of JAN, whether or not a position to Jan Irvin has changed, because Graham Hancock yesterday came out with a really great rebuttal to Terrence McKenna. Jan Irvin coming attacking Terrence McKenna, saying he was a CIA agent and all this stuff. So that happened as well.
Yeah, it's all polarity. Again, that's all literal shite. Have a look at what it's really saying to you. Turn it positive. Make it your intent, not the... Don't be the effect, be the cause. And this is the hard part that people have doing. if something comes at you in one way with one intention, you can turn it around using phonics to make it your intention in the mirror opposite. And it cancels and neutralizes it, and the world changes, and you time slide. I know, I watch it every day.
Right.
Yeah, linguistic martial arts indeed.
Hi, Santos. My heart's just overflowing, and I can just hear drumming so loud right now, and you guys are it's just overwhelming, the love, and it's so beautiful right now. And I'm just so good to hear your voice and hear you say, yeah, for sure, and it's just great.
Yeah,
nice.
Thank you. Santo took Excalibur and knocked it out of the park. We're just showing you how and why right now.
Anyway, I love you guys. I'm just going to be here tuned in.
Yep, well, we're here. And I got Steve in the call, and I think, I'm not sure which one of the two it is. 773, who we got?
The asshole.
Oh, that's you, Steve.
Yeah, that's me. Santo, my brother, are you there?
Steve, how are you?
My friend, my heart's with you. I will just make a brief request, if I can. We're going to go into the rollover here in just a minute or two, and I would like to have a little bit of time for Santo to get geared back up into a role to be able to have enough time without interruption to elaborate on the beautiful things that he brought up earlier. So that is all I'm going to bring up, and then I'm out of here. But if anybody could give him time to have a little bit of room there to give us the full picture of his adventure, that would be wonderful.
Hey, Kate. Santos?
I'm here.
Welcome to the club, Santos.
Yeah, thank you.
Woohoo! Card-carrying member, Santos Bonacci. Attaboy, I love it. About time, slacker.
Mile High Club.
Hey, Kate and I are just really happy. Yeah. Kate and I are just really happy you didn't spend the kind of time we did.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah.
We're glad your stay was nicer.
Well, it had to be because it's a new reality, right? So, again, we all go through our slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, and once we climb past those, we're not climbing past them for ourselves. We're climbing past them for all. This is when you stand in truth. You stand in truth for all, not just you. That's selfish. I am self.
Selfless. We are selfless.
Right. Selfless, and I am not selfish or selfless. I am now self.
That's right.
I am creation with intent into the feminine. And you are self with me. That is the our self. All for one for all.
That's it.
I mean, what Santo shared from Alan Watt earlier. Yeah, what Santo shared from Alan Watt earlier is exactly it. When you understand you are all, and every choice you make is for all, you'll be fine. And I mean that, Phi-N. Creation will be yours.
Namaste in Lakesh Espavo. I honor the light in you that is the light in me. I am another yourself, and thank you for taking your power.
I see you.
I know, I see you too, beautiful.
This game's over. Any questions?
Nope.
I didn't think so. I don't have any. I just have a game to play now because I know how to control my emotions. I choose them. They don't choose me. I choose my reality. It doesn't choose me. I have intent. It doesn't get chosen for me. I am the crown, the crow. I am literally the Lamb of God. Leo ascendant, Aries midheaven. It's in my pattern. And I'm here to show that you are all the Lamb of God. You are all Kati. You are all me, magnetic electric, spirit of love. Just a fucking clue. I'm a character in your movie. You created me. Why don't you learn from me? That's what I'm here to do. You created this monster, for crying out loud. I mean, come on, guys. Look what you scripted in your movie. Some mouthy Irish tranny sitting on the friggin' phone at night, telling the story of creation, and what else are you going to hide the truths, the keys of truth? Well, let's hide it in that character. You created the character. I'm part of the creation. I'm all of it. You are all of it. You know, it's when you really, really see it. It's everything else becomes mindless Babylon. It's just crazy.
Yes, it does. Kate, you're absolutely right. Welcome home, Santos.
Bingo.
Welcome home, Santos. Hey, guys. Hello?
Yeah, you're on. Go.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
It's wide open.
Yeah, I just wanted to... This is Eddie in Oregon, a witness here.
I know, Eddie. How are you?
Yeah, how are you, bro? Peace. Equal.
Itself, you know. I'm good with that.
Yeah, nice, yeah.
Yeah, I figured out the himself, herself. I decided just to be the itself. Works.
Yeah, it works. Really, in the show, Santos was mentioning a little bit about the urine therapy, and actually I wanted to add a little bit to that, if it's okay. Of my experience that I haven't been experiencing in the last few weeks, and it is that I've been drinking it, and it's been wonderful for a few months now. But I started to somehow, automatically kind of thing, start using it to clean my nostril, system, and it's been like another eye-opening, because everybody around me has been sick, and I feel perfect. So it's not even getting nearby, I guess. But also, I've been smelling different aromas in the fruits and, everything that comes around, too. And it was to my hearing, too, because I think, the sensation that the liquid goes to the ear somehow. But also, it's been great. I mean, I've never been so awakened in those sense as I have been in the last couple of weeks. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's why. So that's why we share that with everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
get on your waters. Just get on your Aquarian waters. Everything's great. Promise. The movie's it's done. We got the game. Let's just agree that it's a beautiful ending. I'm good with that. My cab driver's driving full steam ahead on the Autobahn.
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn. You're listening to Santos Bonacci live on Syncretism, here on criticalmassradio.co.uk. As above and so below is the holy science you need to know. Astrotheology, because now it's our turn.
Hey, good evening. Welcome to Outside the Box, and of course Syncretism, and it wouldn't be Syncretism without Santos Bonacci. So, sorry about the delay in getting Santo to the table. I mean, the intent was strong enough, but it had to pass, very quickly, and we knew it would. So, without further ado, hey Santo, how you doing?
Great. Yourself?
Good. Yeah, we've been holding the line on the reality instead of buying into all that nonsense of ooh ah. Listen, hey, how did the Synchronicity School go that you set up inside?
Oh yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I preach to everyone. Look. Overall, I had my voice of course, because
you were teaching so much.
No. Well, yeah, but because 50 to 100 people turned out, and then after that, we spoke outside the courtroom for about half an hour because there was some drama there. And then we got outside and there's, you know, all these reporters from the national TV stations, 9 and 7, I think. I didn't see it because we don't have TV, but yeah, they put a bit of spin on it, according to one of the sovereigns who also turned up last night. I went to a meeting last night by the CLRA group. Well, no, they were a group. Now it's an association. But I went along with Rob Halford, who was in court too in the morning. So I've been talking since midday till about midnight, just talking. So that's why my voice is really, really coarse. But I've obviously experienced some massive things in my life which I want to share. I want to share the mistakes I made and
Santo,
the good things I did.
Santo, yep. Finally, you're a card-carrying member with the rest of us.
Yeah.
Now I can say this. Now you know. Isn't it cool?
Yeah. Yep. It was a rounded off number to 9. I mean, I could have been out of there the next day. But I'll get back to that, why it took 9 days. And I must say, the magistrate that I had, Stephen Rayleigh, was an absolute gem, a fine gem of a man. And in fact, the 3 magistrates that heard the case were absolute gems, I think. And I think they did everything in their power to not have me there.
Yeah, they will, and
they absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to teach people. No one is the enemy, and this is the game of us trying to wake ourselves up. And the less the hostility that we put out gets mirrored back to us. That what you plant, you harvest. And look at the guy's name, Ray Lee. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Ra.
Yeah, Ra. Well, the true light of God in calmness, of course. And this is why I tell people to pay attention to their clues, you know, and they will. See, it was like Ping last week. The judge even turned to her and said, "Listen, I can't do anything until you give me the power to do it." And what the judge was saying to her was this: "Listen, you're claiming to know who you are, then take your power back. Tell me what I have to do."
Yep, that's what I learned, Kate. Kate, what happened was I was belligerent, and that's what got me in there. When, you know, I had a night's sleep about it in the cells, obviously, you know, the other side kicks in, and you realise, which I was rather cooperative with all the judges. They were great, absolute gems. And what I got from the experience was, I sensed that man, the magistrate, was realising what a historical event was occurring in Melbourne yesterday, and because of all these honourable people, the way they came into court, and these good magistrates that really want change, that are not in there, you know, to milk the bonds and to profit from, you know, the ignorance of people. We can turn that around, and now's our chance. And I'm 100% convinced that magistrate is totally on our side. He virtually said to me, "Look, 130,000," and he turned to the barrister and said, "Have you ever been convicted? Is this anything like this?" Nope. Just some traffic fines, yeah? Wow, you know. And he goes, "Look, I'm going to give you bail and see you back on the 1st." And he goes, "We'll see what we can do.
about getting rid of this, and he said, "Do you have any medical problems? Can you go?" And I said, "No, sir," because I don't. And he said, "Because we can use that, and we can reduce that." Basically, what he was doing was giving me, well, I won't say he was giving me advice, but he was saying to me, not a problem, because when I opened in the morning, I said, "Sir, I am here to seek lawful and peaceful remedy and cure in today's matter." And that about snuffed out what the barrister was suggesting, and what the Herald Sun said about me, that I was refusing and uncooperative and things like that. So the judge saw that, and really hats off to this man, Stephen Rayleigh, and the other guys. I just want to talk about all the positive that came out of this.
Well, let's see, Santo, and this is one of the I've been saying this for a very long time. Maybe they'll listen to you. And really, I think what this is going to be between us is this beautiful coalescing of, you're going to find yourself, and I knew this. Of course, it had to be consciousness. Consciousness had to come out of this. I had creation 28, which is 10, right? So consciousness had to come into creation here. I can see the script as it plays out. I don't get caught in all the literal stuff. I'm looking at the energies, and you can still see the belligerent child, the belligerent inner child, being displayed in the consciousness through the media. And when the media, like mainstream, so when mainstream media starts, they love twisting their stories. They like making shit up to see if people will buy it. And people do, but here's the thing. Those points of consciousness are irrelevant, because the only thing that's real to me is what's real to me, as the only thing that's real to you is real to you. And having come through that Daniel in the Lion's Den, which is all that really is, you get a whole different shift and a whole different look at things, because now I can talk to you from the same perspective, because now you've shared it. You've seen what it's like. You've had that opportunity to be with self in a position. I mean, listen, when people finally get that what energy you're putting out into your creation is what you're getting back, they'll be fine. And that's what's happening now. And the belligerent children that are still in the gimme, greedy, I want that from the sandbox, thinking that, here's how retarded it is. I'm God of all I am. And I'm interested in one little piece of property here, and a little house there, and a little, meat stick over. Do you see the separation that occurs? You are all these things. And you really get a different perspective on it. And as I was saying while you were setting up and operating your Synchronicity school with a very captive audience, I had no doubt in my mind, and I'll bring people on a little bit. Guys, just be patient. I want to get Santo chatting here. And this is all I was reinforcing and staying on, because I wasn't going to buy into all of the legal chitter chatter and we got to do this. That's getting caught in the matrix. For me, my movie has you and everybody else as a superstar, and all I kept saying was, Santo is the only one I know of that can do what he has to do right now. Would you please have a little faith in him? And the whole concert turned at that point, that I could see anyway, where instead of people fighting and bickering and thinking, well, Santo has to do this and that and the other, they were cheering you on, bud, because you got Excalibur. You're wielding Excalibur, so wherever you go, it's going to cut through everything. All you need to do is stand with it. That's it.
Yeah. Look, what really pulled me through was the spiritual ideological component that I know pulled me through, whereas the practical in me is, I proved that it was deficient, because I picked a fight, I was belligerent, and when I was served the documents, I don't want to go into detail into things here because I want to stay on the positive. I acted like, I was belligerent. And so lesson number one is always to conditionally accept upon proof of cause. upon proof of claim and conditionally accept it, and do not show any belligerence. And so these things stuck out to me. But knowing who you are absolutely pulls you through situations like that. And the judge absolutely sensed that. He was a good man. And I noticed in the Herald Sun that they said Mr. Bonacci described Victoria Police as a criminal organisation that engaged in fraud. No, that's what the Herald Sun said. Because
they're telling the truth from the very literal standpoint. And again, see, there is no right or wrong here. See, everything that we do brings us to that point of realization. So no one makes a mistake. What you have is an experience to give you contrast to see where you're on the ladder now. This is why I tell people, the universe is your cab. Stop trying to drive it. Just create the reality you want to have and energize towards that, or get caught up in the drama and the literals and all the rest of it. But no one makes a mistake here. What you have is an experience to give you the perspective to see the perfection in who and what you are.
Yeah, look, I think everybody, Australia, the world, gained from this experience, especially me, mostly me. I got a lot of clarity. I met some great guys in there. I preached to every one of them. I'll be telling you some of the stories because I need an hour for each one. Some of the policemen, beautiful, wonderful, wonderful men in there. In fact, as I was going up and down from court to the cell,